This is a Go set. It consists of a Go board and black and white stones. All the stones are exactly the same. There are no super stones or stones with special abilities. And on the board you can see 19 vertical and 19 horizontal lines. And it's on the intersections of these lines that the players will place their stones. At the beginning of the game, the board is empty. Black goes first and places a stone on any vacant intersection. For example, right here. Once you place a stone on the board, it never moves and it stays there till the end of the game. Now it's white's turn. And now black. And white again. And so forth. What's the purpose of the game? Both players, using their stones, try to surround and control as much territory of the board as possible. That sounds a little confusing. Let's skip forward and see what a finished game of Go might look like. This is a finished game. The board has been completely divided between black and white. Now let's take a look at the territory. Black has a little corner right there, a bigger corner here, and a huge chunk of territory in the center. White has territory here, here, and there. If we step away from the simple analogy of two countries at war trying to divide and conquer land, we could think of a Go board as free market, with two companies, black and white, trying to compete over a bigger share of it. Note that in this competition, you don't have to destroy your opponent or try to get the whole market for yourself. All you have to do is just get a little more than your opponent. An example of such competition could be the rivalry of Coca-Cola and Pepsi that started 100 years ago and it's still going on to this day. But I understand that seeing such a huge board with so many stones, especially at the beginning, might seem overwhelming. So let's make it a little easier, shall we? This is so much better, right? The board is now smaller, but the size and shape of the board doesn't really matter because it doesn't change the principles of the game. And apart from the standard 19 by 19 board, we also have a couple of training boards, a 13 by 13 and a 9 by 9 that you see in front of you right now. This is another finished game, and now black and white only have one territory each. Territory is empty intersections surrounded by stones of one color. So let's count the territory in this game. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points. And white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points. So in this game, black wins by 3 points. It all seems very straightforward, right? You place the stones on the board one by one, you try to surround more territory, and that's it. But it all gets more exciting and interesting when the stones are next to each other and the battle begins. Let's see how that happens. Every stone placed on the board has a certain amount of liberties. They're like hit points in RPG games, and they're the intersections next to the stone. The more liberties a stone has, the stronger it feels. But when your opponent's stones get close, it all changes. Now, if black doesn't reply, and white continues to surround, the black stones gets weaker and weaker, until finally there is only one liberty left. At this point, if black doesn't do anything, white will take this last liberty and capture the stone. Every captured stone will give you 1 extra point at the end of the game. Here we have to say a few words about Japanese terms in the game of Go. Go came to Europe and America from Japan, so there are many Japanese words that are commonly used in the game even today. And very often they are more precise than the words that could explain them in other languages. And if you play with someone who doesn't speak your language, they could even serve as a way of overcoming a language barrier. So occasionally, only when necessary, we're going to be using them in these courses. For example, this situation when a stone is one step away from being captured is called Atari. You might know this word as a name of a video game developer company that was founded by Nolan Bushnell, who was an avid Go player himself. Of course, Black doesn't have to let White capture the stone so easily. Black can save the stone that's in Atari by playing here. This creates a group of 2 stones, and all of its liberties are now shared. If this stone just now had 1 liberty, the 2 stones have 3. The more stones you have connected in a group, the more difficult it is for your opponent to surround and capture them. Notice that the stones are connected into groups horizontally and vertically, but not diagonally. Now, why don't we take a little break, and it's time for you to solve a few problems.